Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my videos. This is a no agenda chat. This is essentially a chat where I get on here and just talk to you guys. We just have a conversation about whatever may be top of mind for you. And the best way to get my attention is to throw something up in all caps, and we will try to focus on those things. It has been a very good week here for the channel. We have released a couple of videos this week. There's only a couple because there's only been 2 days in the week, but we've released 2 videos and they have been pretty well received so far. I released a video on Monday about a purchase that I made of a large comic book collection. And as I anticipated, there were going to be a lot of follow-up questions about how do you buy a collection? And I don't anticipate anyone out there is actually going to buy a collection as large as the one that I did. But what I wanted to do was to try to put together a video that really offered some tips and techniques that you guys can actually use to purchase a collection. And if you take a look at the playlist, one of the playlists on the channel, it is around buying collections. There is a series of videos in which I have bought a couple of collections over like the last year and a half or so. And there's a couple of videos up there that have tips and tidbits kind of woven in there. But today's video was really focused on how do you find one? How do you buy one? And rest assured that I don't think, again, that anyone's going to go out and buy a collection as large as the one that I put together right off the bat, right? I mean, I didn't do that right off the bat. I bought a series of very small collections over really the last 2.5 years, maybe even 3 years. Been buying little collections here and there, a couple of books, and before I jumped into the waters that I jumped in. So if you have not seen either one of those videos, I definitely want to encourage you to go back, check out those videos. They are on the channel. I think that they are pretty solid videos that will, I think, inform and also entertain people. So with all of that said, I want to say hello to some comic book soldiers out there. Al, how you doing, brother? Joe, how you doing? Myth Lab Music is in the house. Tommy Mayo is in the house. Tina, I see ya. Randy Snake Matt Woods, scrolling down through the names. My man Harvey Abel, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling down through the names. Matt Woods is here. How you doing, my friend? Matthew put together a pretty good collage that he sent over to me that I actually shared on the Instagram machine. It was a collage of screen grabs from some of my videos in which I bought collections. And so it was a pretty cool collage. Showed a couple of, the collections that I've picked up and stuff like that. So I got a kick out of that. So thank you, Matthew, for sharing that with me. I definitely appreciate it. High Voltage Mark is in the house. How you doing, brother? Scrolling down through the names, seeing who else we have. My man, Chuck, the Crypt Keeper, is also here, scrolling down. All right. So I, again, don't have an agenda. I have one thing that I want to talk about, and we'll get to that at some point over the course of this live stream. But again, if there's things you guys want to talk about, throw it up in all caps, and we will definitely dig into it. My Rush, one of my Canadian brothers, how you doing? It is definitely good to see you, Tina. I hope you are doing well. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Again, if you guys have things you want to talk, scrolling. I abhor a vacuum, so I must keep talking. If there's things you guys want to talk about, throw it up in all caps and we will try to dig into it. I cannot promise you that we will talk about everything, but we will do our best to actually talk about a couple of things. Breezy, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Scrolling down through the names, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Brother, I have the best epiphanies. I have written so many videos for this channel while washing dishes. It is unbelievable. Trust me when I tell you I've written a lot of videos. And you might say, well, how do you write a video? I write a video like I would write a story, right? And I literally in my head will think through what is the topic, right? And then what do I want to say? What points do I want to make? And I kind of in my head start to put the pieces in place. I want to say this. I want to make this point. And if I say that, then I should say that. And then if I say this, is that the right order? 1, 2, 3, or do I need to move this one up to the front and say that first? And that's literally how I will write a video, and then I will actually get a piece of paper and write down some of those thoughts in that order, and then I will sit here and I will record a video. So earlier today, I was working out a short while ago. I was working out, and I had some thoughts. And so I literally just grabbed a piece of paper. This is a piece of my, the kids have the big rolls that we roll out for them, and they draw on them and paint on them and stuff like that. I just ripped a piece of that off, and I literally just wrote a video in my head, and then I put it on paper. And this will become a video very soon. There's a couple of points here that, believe it or not, will probably turn into a 12-minute video. It's like magic. One of the lines here, it says, "My wife would kill me." My wife saw that a short while ago, and she said, "Don't write that down on paper again." I said, "Well, it's true. You would kill me if I did this thing." And then I explained it to her, and she was like, "Yeah, I would kill you." So there you go. When you see the video, you will know what I'm talking about. Scrolling down to some of the comments here. Scrolling. I think you guys are talking about the poster back behind me. What is this? "I remember back in the day when your videos were from the kitchen." Yeah, man, that was an interesting time. It really was an interesting time. And I honestly don't watch Rush many of those videos back from the kitchen, but I have gone back and watched a couple when people have asked a question, and I'm like, that was 2 years ago. I don't remember what I said. So I'll go and I'll watch parts of the video to be able to answer the question that people post up. And what you can see if you watch those videos is you can see the makings of what the channel is now. You can go back and watch some of those, and you'll hear the same intro back then. And it is the same words that I say now, but just slightly adjusted. Like you can see, I think, if you pay attention, the evolution of the channel and me as a YouTuber. And a lot of that stuff, I don't watch it because it makes me cringe. It honestly makes me cringe that I cannot watch it. What is this? I'd say you now have all kinds of material for videos. How far have you been able to dig into that collection you bought? Yeah, stay tuned for the video. Stay tuned for the video, my friend. I'm not gonna break down all the details of it, but what I will tell you is that the collection is not new to me. It is not new to me. So where did I get the FF poster? I think a couple of you guys have already answered that it's actually not a poster. So there you go. Ian, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling down through the comments here. Any ASM 110 in the collection? I need one. I don't know if I don't think so. I don't think that there's any ASM 110s in there, to be honest with you. But there are a lot of them out there, brother. We in the Gibbon gang are the only ones that fully appreciate Marvel's unsung hero, unsung superstar. We are the only ones in the Gibbon gang. So I don't think you're going to have a hard time finding one. I'm going to just be completely honest with you. They can probably be had for probably a good $5. Splurge and treat yourself with a $20, and you'll be like at the head of the Gibbon gang. Scrolling through, do I enjoy Star Wars? If so, do you think Disney helped to hurt it? I don't watch Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I do like Mandalorian. Mandalorian is dope. It is dope. But Star Wars as a whole, brother, I have zero opinion on that one. Did I read Dark Knight's Metal, and are you hyped for Death Metal? I have not read Dark Knight's Metal. I'm more of a Marvel guy, man. Even though my collection now is a lot of DC, I am through and through a Marvel guy that is learning to embrace some DC. With that said, I think, I am still going back reading some of the older DC and not necessarily some of the more modern stuff. I think that, whether you're talking about DC, Marvel, Ablaze Studios, name a publisher, AAW or AEWA, I think that there's a lot of really fantastic content that is being put out right now. And I think that we are in a definite fortunate situation to have access to such great content that is being put out. So at some point I will actually get around to reading that series. So my first couple of videos were a disaster. Biggest difference between Reggie and me is that he's got, man, I'm gonna tell you, bro, I don't fully support what you just said. I don't fully support that. And what I mean by that is that you have some outstanding content that you have created that makes me envious that I don't necessarily have the ability to speak in as much depth as you do when it comes to the artistry of comics. You know, I look at something, I'm like, ooh, that's a pretty picture. Ooh, that's pretty. I don't know why I like that, but that's pretty. And man, you go deep. And I think that it is fantastic that you have that art background and that art appreciation to really be able to break down what it is that we see in comic books and help us to appreciate the artistry of it. Right. And I think that's fantastic. And trust me when I tell you, brother, I would never have created videos with you if you were not a solid YouTuber and also a solid person. You know what I'm saying? So and there are so many ways that I've also gotten worse. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. What is this? Glad I waited to see your channel until you got it right. I don't know that I have gotten it right. if you let some people tell it, man, I'm still not quite ready for prime time. You know what I'm saying? Steve, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Why did I shave? Because my wife doesn't like it and I really like my wife, therefore the beard had to go. Plus I was laying down and it was almost like a pillow. It was so cushiony. It was like a pillow, but not a very comfortable pillow. It was like a spiky pillow, you know? And so it had to go. The beard had to go. And it occasionally makes an appearance, right? It occasionally will creep up at various points. It'll be back at some point, you know? There you go. Tina knows what's up. Scrolling down through the comments, I am so far behind on the comments. And again, this is a no agenda chat. I literally have no agenda. We are going to talk about whatever it is that I see in the stream that pops up. If you want to capture my attention, throw it up in all caps because it'll actually help me to be able to see it. So I'm just scrolling down. Quest says, I've got my ASM 110 in Mylar. That's because you know quality. Gibbon Gang, stand up. You know what's up. ASM 110s are creeping up in price. It is, man. It's amazing. It really is with you know, us, we are just having fun, you know what I'm saying? And so people have asked me to try to explain to them what the Gibbon Gang is all about. Like Comic Tom reached out to me, he was like, what is this Gibbon Gang? And I tried to explain it, but it's really because it is such an organic thing that I think it's a thing that you have to experience. You have to be a part of it to get it. And if you try to explain it to somebody, they're kind of looking at you like, so what is it? And it's a thing that if you are not part of this channel, that it's hard. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if you are new here, just stick around and you will understand Gibbon Gang. Reggie, having a rough day. Thanks for always posting the content, bro. At the end of the day, my friend, this is what it is about. Life is stressful, my friend. We are living in stressful times. And the thing is that if I can bring a little bit of infotainment, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of escapism to people's lives, man, that's what it's about. There you go. You know what's up. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Chat, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Oh man, you guys are hilarious. There you go, Randy. There you go, supportive. That's what's up. That is what's up. There we go. Tina's like, I bought ASM 111 to go with 110. It is. If you have not read 110, it is definitely a little bit of a twist. It takes a little bit of a turn, right, as you go from 110 into 111, and then when you wrap things up, of course, with 18.HU, which is the current run of Spider-Man 18.HU. It is a very sad and tragic story, if you will, to the Gibbon, but he is an unsung hero. Scrolling down through the comments here, stay tuned for the video, my friend. Scrolling down, we are not going to be giving away any insider information about the collection that I picked up, right? What I will tell you is that if you stay tuned to the channel, if you stay tuned to the videos, I will reveal more and more to you guys over time, right? I will tell you, there is another video that is going to be coming out this week, and I'm actually going to be showing you some of the additional books from the collection that I've been able to pull out. We may take a little bit of a break because I don't want to spend all my time talking about one thing, because that just gets really, really boring for me. So we'll see what next week brings. We'll see what the week after brings. But definitely encourage you guys to stay tuned to the video. There have been a lot of people that have reached out to me asking to buy books and offering to buy books. Nothing is for sale. I'm not selling anything at the moment. I am enjoying this collection. I am enjoying what I have. I will answer people's questions about the collection as best I can, but rest assured that if you ask me a question that I cannot answer, I will not answer it. I will, if you type me like 5 questions and one of them is like, how much did you pay? I'm going to answer 4 of them, but that 5th one will hang out there. Rest assured that I read it, but I am not going to respond. I'm not going to. There are some aspects of this collection that I am choosing not to share because the thing is I like to be as transparent with people as possible, but there are some things that people will ask about that I don't think are really helpful to really understand certain things, and so hopefully people understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully people understand why I'm not talking about certain things. If you notice on this channel, we never talk about price. We never talk about price because there's no good way to talk about price. There is no good way to talk about it. And I think that if other YouTubers want to talk about price, I think that's perfectly fine. That's them. That's just not me. So hopefully people get that. Speaking of ASM 110, where is the official Gibbon Gang copy? Oh, I have no clue. I think Matt Woods is talking about a project that he's working on. I have nothing to do with that. I'm going to allow you guys to continue working through that one. Scrolling down through the names here. Scrolling. There you go. There you go. Scrolling. I am way behind. Scrolling down. Man, I'm telling you, bro. His breakdown, those artist videos that White Whale Comics did are fantastic. They really are fantastic. If you guys have not, if you haven't seen the videos from White Whale Comics where he talks about the different artists and creators out there and what makes them great and why they're great, oh, treat yourself. Treat yourself. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Scrolling down, what was that? Slaptopia. Here's the thing. I will tell you, because people are always like, how did you do this? Or how did you do that? And I talked about this on Instagram a short while ago. Everything that I've accomplished with this collection, with this hobby, is all in the videos. Literally everything that I do, not literally everything, but what I will do is I will do something, see if it works. If it works, I'll do it a couple more times, and then I'll do it a couple more times, and then I'll do a video about it. And if I do something and it doesn't work, then you probably don't see a video about it because it doesn't work, right? But I will try to, where I have some success, where I have some failures, even for that matter, I will do videos about them to basically say to you, here are the ingredients. Here are the ingredients that I use to do what I do. Now, how you mix those ingredients together will be dependent upon what you are trying to accomplish and what your disposable income is and what your objectives are and what your wants, needs, and desires are. How you mix those things is on you, but here are the ingredients. You know what I'm saying? And so when people are like, how did you do this, that, or the other? I say, watch the videos. And it's not in an offensive way. It's simply to say that I literally put videos out for the purpose of helping other people. You know what I'm saying? To either learn from my mistakes or to benefit from my mistakes or to benefit from the things that I've done right. So hopefully that helps. Scrolling down, Canadian soldier, man, they're everywhere up in here. The Canadians show up big time. Dude says, dude Ryan says, people ask me all the time what I pay for things. I don't answer because truthfully, it's none of their business. Yeah, it's just, it's tough, man. It's tough to answer those types of questions. And the reality is that, you know, like, if there's a question that they're trying to get to by asking that question, it's like, ask me that question. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not talk about the dollars and cents of it, just because it's just, you know. But scrolling down through some of the comments here, is that a watch from a stormtrooper? No, bro, that's just dope. That's just a dope G-Shock. I used to buy like expensive watches back in the day. And, you know, it was one of those things where when I was younger, I was a little more materialistic, if you will, and not in a good way. But in a, I just did this, let me go buy this. And then you do that and you're like, well, what else can I buy? That's just, it wasn't me. And I went through some things in life that taught me that, that it's not necessarily about the things that you have, but the experiences, the people, family, that kind of stuff. I realized through some bad things that life is more important than other things. And so I wear G-Shocks. I wear G-Shocks to kind of remind me of the importance of being humble, the importance of not focusing on materialistic possessions and things like that, you know? So hopefully it's just maybe I got too deep there. It's just a watch. Scrolling down through the names here. I will tell you that sometimes when people aren't around, man, there's a reason for some of that stuff. So just you know, if people aren't around, man, you know, have some positive thoughts for people. My wife is like, is that Reggie again? Yes, it is me. It is me, Steve's wife. Scrolling down. Yeah. And you know, I don't think, you know, when I moved, was it California? I moved somewhere, maybe it was Florida, and I would meet people. And the first question that they would ask me is, what did you do? What do you do? And I was like, man, that's rude. You know, what do I do? Wow. Like, what if I didn't do anything? Like, how do I answer that? And what I realized is that it wasn't that people were rude. I think it was one of those things of, this is a regional, local kind of thing where people are trying to get to know other people. And so they ask that question of what do you do in an effort to get to know people? But for someone that's not accustomed to that, it was rude to me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's the same thing with price. Like, people ask that because in certain parts of the world, in certain parts of the country, in certain cultures, asking those types of questions is perfectly acceptable. But from where I come from in Detroit, we don't do that. From my family's perspective, because of who my family is, a lot of, in many ways, one side of the family is incredibly humble, incredibly private people. They don't talk about like that kind of stuff. Like, I don't even know some of my great grandparents and great grandparents. I don't even know what their political affiliations were, because you didn't talk about that. Right. That is just not something that we did. So I don't know if it's rude so much as in certain places, that's the norm. It's actually okay to do that. It's just not my gig. Scrolling down through the am I slowly becoming a comic book dealer? Maybe a Comic-Con booth coming up. You know, I don't know. The long and short of it is that I don't know. You know, with the career that I have, it is very consuming. And to some degree or another, comics are fun for me, right? Comics are fun. Comics are an escape. And while I do this channel and these videos, and I've kind of built up some stuff around it, it's still fun to me. And so the question becomes, if I transition it into an actual business, a couple of things. Do I have time for that? And two, will it become less fun? Right? If how you, like, I don't think it would get to the point where that's how I actually pay bills and feed people. I don't think it would go there, because I have the other career. But if I were to have that kind of shift, would I still enjoy it as much? Would you guys still enjoy the channel as much if I was always talking about, hey, go buy this book. Hey, go buy this book. Hey, I have this book over here. Can you go buy that book? Right. So I'm always trying to find that balance between what makes me happy, what makes people happy, what keeps people entertained, keeps people coming back. So I don't know. I really don't know. I had a wonderful conversation with someone recently who was like, you should come to a con. Is there any plans for you to do a con? And I was like, well, why? Like, tell me why. And the person was basically like, it would be cool if people had an opportunity to meet you. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of humbling, right? So maybe there will be a con. Maybe it'll be Garage Con. Maybe I'll put in a couple of appearances if we ever get off a lockdown. Who knows? Who knows? I think that anything is possible. Trust me when I tell you that there is very little that I have not thought about or had somebody mention to me that hasn't prompted me to actually think about it. The question becomes like, what is the situation? What is the scenario in which that could actually happen? You know, what was the last comic in the new collection that you looked at and said, I have to have this? Stay tuned for the video. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Panda Express, I have no clue what that's about. There you go. That's a nice watch. Invicta Pro Diver. That's what's up. I got really big into a lot of the military inspired watches, right? So I have watches from Vietnam, from World War II. I have a lot of military inspired watches. I think it's MTM was one of the metal military watches that I picked up. It came in like a diver box. There's a lot of, if it's military inspired, I kind of dig it, you know? So scrolling down, what's a good time to premiere my makeover video tomorrow? I honestly cannot answer that. The question becomes, what is a good time for you to premiere that video, right? Where you actually think that people are going to be attentive and that you can potentially leverage that to build some momentum. Right. I picked 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Why? I picked that time because that was the time that I normally walked out of work. And so I could readily respond to people's comments that they were posting on videos. If I was working from home, if I left work a little bit early, I can normally be home by 3:30 and can actually sit here and do a premiere. So that's why I chose that time. So you have to ask yourself, where are the vast majority of your viewers? Are they East Coast? Are they West Coast? Are they a combination? When can you actually sit down and engage with people? When are people going to be available? And then more importantly, can you build some momentum off that? If you are trying to move towards doing premieres or releasing videos on a regular and consistent basis, then you want to pick a time. Like me, if Reggie is not live at 7:30, Reggie's not going live. Kind of sort of, you kind of know that because I rarely go live after 7:30, you know, sometimes earlier in the day, live like an impromptu thing, but generally 7:30. Why? It's the time my kids go to bed, right? So I think the time will be dependent upon what it is that you are actually trying to accomplish. What I do is live life to the fullest. That's how you respond. Is that directed at me? Is that, I don't know if that's directed at me. I don't know if that's what I said. Scrolling down, I could have said it because it actually does sound like me. Scrolling down, somebody actually asked me that. They said, what prompted you to buy a collection as large as you did? And my response was a couple of things. Why not? Two, I believe in living life to the fullest. It makes me happy. And it's like, why not? You know, why not? How often do you have an opportunity to buy a collection of that sort? Right. And to actually have that type of experience, because it's about the experience at a certain point in life. It's about the stories that you can tell, the things that you can experience. And this is, you know, I'll probably never do this again, but it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool to be able to have done it, you know, scrolling down, scrolling down through some of the comments here. Man, I hope so, brother. I hope so. You know, I've had a couple of people were like, well, you should do a con booth. And it's kind of like, well, I want to do a con, but there's also costs associated with that. And to do that, that would mean I would have to sell stuff. And then it's not going to be as much fun because I'm going to be trying to be busy and handling money and all that kind of stuff. And it's not as fun as if you can just sit around and chit chat. But, you know, again, at some point, maybe. Unfortunately. Let me see. I wonder if Reggie's fans watch his shows. For me, I keep my creative stuff only with the comic friends, sports stuff. I don't know if I follow that. I don't have fans. I have friends. and subscribers. Have I ever watched the X-Men movies? Yes, I've watched all of them, and I've actually watched several of the MCU movies a couple of times. Like Doctor Strange, I've probably watched like 3 times. I've watched a lot of them recently, like from scratch, and I just enjoy them. Not the Thors so much, because I don't really, those are okay, not the greatest, but like Guardians of the Galaxy, I thoroughly enjoyed. There's several of them. You know, Black Panther I watched a couple of times. Captain Marvel I watched a couple of times, you know. So, but the X-Men movies, yeah, I've watched those a couple of times as well. So scrolling down through, how are the wife and, oh, they're doing fantastic, brother. They are literally doing fantastic. My kids are living their best life, man. They get to spend all day with mom and dad. They get all kinds of new toys on a regular basis. We go on walks. We play in bounce houses. We do different things with the kids literally every single day. You know, we have a stash of toys and stuff like that under the house that we bring out for them to kind of give them a little bit of surprise, give them new things. We put them outside and we kind of pull out and rotate toys around the house. So they get toys from the basement outside, and they've never had those toys outside, so it's a new experience. Then you bring up some toys and you put them on the deck, and then they go play with toys on the deck, and it's just, you know, just different things every day. But everybody's good, man. Thank you for asking, brother. We need a bigger garage. Bigger garage for you. Sound like my wife. Jeff, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Scrolling down through the comments here again, if you guys throw it up in all caps, it will actually help me to see it a little bit better. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Oh, here we go. Wondering if your family watches your shows. Yeah. So what's crazy, man, is the one where I did the one about my the toys my mom sent. I was FaceTiming with her the other day, and she's like, "Yeah, I saw your video." And she was like, "Yeah, you said that I wasn't going to see it, but I saw your video." And then, you know, my dad chimed in, and he's like, "So first of all, I boxed up all those." No, he was like, "First of all, I went to the storage. I got all those toys out. I boxed them up." He was like, "All your mother did was mail them." So he was basically like, you know, why wasn't my name mentioned? So we may have to do another video in which I acknowledge my father's contribution to stuff. But yeah, my family occasionally watches the videos. I've sent them a couple to watch, but it's like everything else. And it's probably like things in your life. Your family doesn't necessarily understand it, right? I sent my mom a thing and I said, "Mom, I bought 100,000 comics." She said, "Why?" My mom doesn't get it, and that's actually okay. You know what I'm saying? She recognizes that it makes me happy. And she's okay with it. Her next question was, "Is there a storefront attached to the storage unit?" I said, "No, mom, there's no storage unit attached to the storage." But she is who she is. She is who she is. Reggie, do I have any workout videos? Can't read comics all the time. Yeah, if you go on the channel, here on the channel, there are lots of workout videos where I actually show you full workouts. There are full workouts for shoulders, chest, back, legs, the whole 9 yards. There's probably maybe 100 or so videos on the channel that are actually dedicated to fitness. If you search my name, Reggie Simmons, if you search for my name, Reggie Simmons online, like Reggie Simmons bodybuilding or something like that, you can actually find articles that I've published that actually walk you through complete, you know, body part specific workouts. So there's a ton of that content out there, just a ton of it here on the channel. I've written a couple of ebooks. You may actually be able to find one of those. There was actually one posted to, let me actually show that real quick, because that's actually one of the things that I did want to talk about. If you go to my website, I want to highlight this for you guys real quick. A viewer actually sent me an AOK. And it's actually technically, if you guys can see that, it's technically an AOK for you guys. This is actually my site, reggiecollects.com. A subscriber actually sent me an AOK that is really for you guys. And he was watching the channel and heard us all talking about the Daredevil Punisher. And so he created a fantastic wallpaper right here featuring the Daredevil Punisher. And it is actually a free high-res wallpaper that you can download for your cell phone. This guy created this thing and he sent it over to me. I got it posted to the website. You can see here that it is one file. It is $0. It's a JPEG. You can basically download it, add it to your cart. I think it should work, but created by Jason. My man Jason sent this over to me earlier today. I got it posted. You can download it. It is an AOK. And for those that don't know, an AOK is an act of kindness. And all that I would ask you guys to do, if you can, is if you can follow Jason on Instagram and Twitter. That'd be really, really cool of you guys. I'm actually going to fix this. I don't like how that's breaking, so I may actually fix that as soon as I go off air. But Jason was kind enough to create this piece of fantastic art over here and send it over to me. So if you guys want to access this, if you download it, I would just ask to just follow him, give him a shout out, like some of his images and stuff like that as a thank you for this very awesome AOK that he sent over for us. So there was something else I was going to show you here. I don't know how I got off on that topic. Oh, didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. So there was something I was going to show you guys. What was the question again? I hate when I get off track. Workout videos. I don't know how I got on that topic. I think it's gone. That doesn't oftentimes happen to me, but it is, that thought was definitely gone. So scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. A Gibbon Gaines shirt for workouts. What was this? Regie, how do we send an AOK and what do you accept? So I've actually been debating that a lot. And I had a couple of people reach out to me before that video dropped, in which I actually showed the comics on Monday. I am debating if it's still appropriate for me to actually accept AOKs from people. And I say that because people are sending me comics when I may have that comic in this collection and just don't know it. So I'm feeling a certain way about accepting AOKs. I don't know that I've arrived at a conclusion on how best to handle it. Like, if people want to send AOKs to me that I can give back to the comic book community, we'll probably continue to do that. But AOKs for me, I am honestly struggling with, you know. So I would say, Wesley, thank you for the offer. Let me continue trying to noodle it. The best piece of advice that I can give is if you want to talk about it, if you send me an email to reggie@regiecollects.com, we can have a conversation. I had somebody actually send something to a PO box that was posted, and I still haven't gotten it. And I think it's actually been at the post office for a couple of months because I did not know it. But it's like, if people want to send AOKs, reach out to me via email. We can have a conversation about it. And I get where people are coming from, but I think people understand my struggle with continuing to accept AOKs. So super, thank you very much, brother. I think you're talking about the video where I talk about how to buy a comic book collection. I'm glad you enjoyed that. That's what's up. Sean, there you go. Going to get a Star Wars #1 cover from Frog Boy. That's what's up. For you guys that don't know, Frog Boy is the guy that actually created this wonderful masterpiece back there. The way that this guy works is that he literally paints a cover. It's a cover recreation. He does it once. He does not repeat covers. And I think that that's part of what makes this really special, is that there will never be another one of those from Frog Boy. And I think that that is really cool. I'm very surprised that he hasn't, Sean, done Star Wars before. But I will tell you, he has gotten a little busy as of late because of him giving me this, and a lot of you guys responding to him and his talent and reaching out to him and getting covers recreated. So Sean, good luck, bro, getting it done. You picked a really cool book, though. You picked a really cool book to have him work on. So oh, there we go. Jeffrey, thank you, bro. Goodness gracious. My mind was going. All right. So what I was going to show you guys over here on the shop was this right here. This is actually an ebook. It is there is a cost associated with this, but this is an ebook that I wrote. I've done a lot of free articles, free workouts, free videos, all that kind of stuff. If you search for my name, if you look here on the channel, if you search online, you can actually find a lot of this stuff. But I've also written, I want to say 5 or 6 ebooks. And the biggest ebook was this one right here. This was Fit Bodies Fundamentals. And really what this book talks about is the fundamentals of getting yourself into shape. So I talk about mindset, goal setting, how to devise a workout, how to build a workout, how to get your diet in check. And so it provides people with a foundation to actually get themselves in shape. And this is a really cool book, man. Fit Bodies isn't isn't a diet, an exercise, or a piece of gym equipment. Fit Bodies is the embodiment of grit, determination, and stick-to-itiveness that underscores your commitment to achieving your health and fitness goals. Fit Bodies isn't about achieving perfection. It's about becoming the best version of yourself imaginable. And a lot of that has to do with having the right mindset. So this is actually a book that I wrote several years ago. You can see here, it's a 30-page book. And then here are the chapters. It's 8 chapters that make up this ebook. And we spent a lot of time on this one. So this is actually my wife. For those that don't know, that's actually my wife, Kelly, right there. And she was a much better model than I. So the book is actually filled with a lot of photos of Kelly, who taught me how to model. Right, my wife is a fantastic fitness person, and she taught me how to model, man. And I went on to be on the cover of a magazine and in several magazines around the world, Australia, the UK, and of course here in the US, because of like the lessons that my wife actually taught me. So shout out to Kelly, who will probably never see this video. I'll just tell you that. Scrolling down to some of the comments here. Let me see. There was a couple of comments that I missed. Oh, he has. Have you spoken to him? Because I thought he only did one cover. Per. What is this? Regie, do I ever get into comic raffles? No, I don't. I don't do raffles of any sort. I don't do mystery boxes. And there's lots of reasons for those things, but I don't do any of that kind of stuff. It's not a criticism of those that sponsor those things, nor is it a criticism of those that choose to participate. But I don't enjoy gambling. I enjoy knowing what I'm buying and buying something that I truly enjoy. And so I don't do any of those things. And again, it's not a criticism. It's just how I operate. Send me a message and I'll make you a personal. No, I'm joking. I'm not doing that. Scrolling down to some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. Again, this is a no agenda chat. We are literally just talking about whatever may be top of mind for you guys. I completely agree. But here's the thing. What I will tell you is that mindset is the key to everything. Mindset is the key to everything. There are people that defeat themselves in the 6 inches between their 2 ears because they psych themselves out of something. They believe that something is impossible. And the reality is that they are correct. They have already lost the battle because they have convinced themselves that it's impossible. I tell people all the time that I'm stupid. I am too stupid to believe that something isn't possible. I believe that I can shape my environment. I believe that I can accomplish whatever it is that I set my mind to. I actually had a guidance counselor tell me that I should look into vocational school when I was in high school. She said, you should look into vocational school. And I said, really? Is that what I should do? And never went back and saw that woman again. And next thing you know, I'm getting a kiss on the cheek from one of my teachers, Miss Ashton. She was my English literature teacher in high school. She kissed me on my cheek when I got accepted to Howard University, and I never looked back. Never looks back, because I believe to this day that if I set my mind to something, I believe that I can accomplish that thing. And it is that ignorance that allows me in many ways to be successful. It's also the fear of failure, right? I don't like to fail. That doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that I don't stumble, but fear for me is a good motivator because it makes me try harder. It makes me work harder. It makes me wake up early and grind. You know what I'm saying? So I think that mindset is important for fitness, but it's also important for life, you know? So scrolling down through some of the comments here. There you go. Boom. There you go. Remember, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. Facts. Could not agree with that comment more. Motivation and consistency is the key to fitness. No, I'm a challenge that. And I don't mean it in a negative way, but motivation to some degree or another is a depreciating asset, right? Some days you're motivated, sometimes you're not motivated. And if you're not motivated, do you still work hard versus when you are motivated, right? So what I would say is consistency is key, but I think also having a goal, having a goal that is motivating to the one. Let me restate that. Having a goal that motivates you to do what has to be done regardless of how you feel, because motivation is an emotional thing. Having a goal that is broken down into steps, either you do it or you don't, right? And if you do it and you are consistent at doing it, you will achieve that goal regardless of how you feel. I cannot tell you how many times as I was working to become an IFBB pro, how many times I didn't want to work out 3 days a week. I'm sorry, 3 times a day. I was waking up at 5 a.m. I was doing cardio. I was lifting at night and then doing cardio again. It was 3 basic workouts that I was doing, right? That my motivation was garbage, but my goal kept me going. My goal got me out of bed. My goal got me through that workout. I thought about what it is that I'm trying to accomplish. Those same principles helped me in my career. Those same principles helped me to build the collection that I have now. I have a goal. That goal has milestones. I do or do not achieve those milestones and ultimately achieve that goal, right? So that's the one tweak that I would make to that, but definitely consistency is huge. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, seeing what else you guys are talking about. I fear success more than failure. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. But there you go, man. That is the thing. You are more likely to actually achieve a goal if it is written down. There is a reason why companies do goal setting every single year. Why? Because you're 70, depending upon which stat you look at, 70 to 80% more likely to achieve that goal if that goal is written down and if you can clearly articulate what that goal is. I want to do better. What does that mean? I want to have a nice collection. What does that mean? I want to lose weight. How much weight and by when, right? So if you go back to the thing that I was showing you, having these SMART goals that are specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time-bound. SMART goals. It's no different for comic book collecting. It's no different for your personal life. It's no different for your professional life. It's all the same. It's all about having a goal in mind and taking it down. Welcome. Drop a G. Scrolling down through the comments here. Again, if you guys throw it up in all caps, it'll. I was telling my wife, right? I was telling my wife that I think one of the things that makes my channel a little bit different is that you could say that I'm talking about comics, but am I? Am I talking about comics? When I'm talking about fear of missing out, am I talking about comics when I'm talking about jealousy? Am I talking about comics or am I talking about something else? I don't know. It depends upon one's point of view. I think that this idea of putting comics on a little box and saying that what happens in this little box happens in this little box. I don't know if I agree with that, because there's things that happen outside of that box that influence that box. There are things that happen in comics that influence other aspects of life. So to that point, break the walls down, make it all blend. There are lessons that we learn in our professional life that are applicable to comics and vice versa, right? There's lots of lessons to be learned, and why isolate and why prevent yourself from experiencing those things. So scrolling down through some of the comments, set goals, check them off. What? Talk dirty, brother. Talk dirty to me. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. So one of my first screen names was Best Dressed, and it had nothing to do with being dressed, right? What motivated me to get in shape was my desire to look good without clothes on. That is literally, I wanted abs. That was my motivation. Silly? Yes. But it was a goal. It was a goal that made me work out. It was a goal that made me eat the right food. It was a goal that made me go to bed early so that I can get the right amount of rest. Whatever your goal is, if it's meaningful to you, then it works, right? So if your goal is that, get after it, brother. And if that doesn't work, you change it to something else that does work, and you will achieve your goal. So scrolling down some of the comments here. Smart goals. Reggie keeps reminding me of work. So here's the thing, you retired gentlemen, not all of us are lucky enough to be living the lavish retired life. Some of us have to actually manage people and do goal setting and all this other stuff. I spend a lot of time on video chats with people, man, and it is not fun. But be honest with you, managing lots of people is brutal, man. But it is the job that I have chosen. When can I see you in board shorts again? If you go to the website, there's plenty of photos of me in board shorts. If you search for Reggie Simmons, you will IFBB Pro, you will actually see plenty of photos of me in board shorts. So that is my treat to you for tonight. Scrolling through, good advice in general can be attributed to too many things, mostly comics though. Maybe it depends on how you look at it. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. All right, cool. So I think I've worked my way through a lot of the comments here, which I did not think. Oh, wait, what is this? Let me read that. Oh man, yeah, dude. So that is brutal, brother. That's a lot of weight to take off. 42 pounds, put on a little bit of muscle. Definitely sorry that you had a couple of health issues, my man. But definitely, I think that what you have demonstrated is that you can do it. And sometimes that's the hardest thing, is that people don't recognize what they are actually capable of doing until sometimes they do it. You know what I'm saying? And so you've come to the realization that you can actually do it. Yes, you have some setbacks, but the reality is that you know the path. You know the path to get there. And when the time is right, when your health is there, I am confident that if it is something that you set your mind to, and it is something that is meaningful to you, you will make magic again. So good luck to you, my friend. Good luck. Scrolling down through the comments here again. Yeah, we are down at the bottom again. If there's things you guys want to talk about, throw it up in all caps because it'll actually help me. It depends upon the time of day. A lot of times early in the morning when I'm doing some brainstorming, when I'm thinking about work and stuff like that, I actually listen to a lot of classical music. I'm a big fan of Beethoven. So I listen to a lot of classical music because the words in music when I'm brainstorming distract my thoughts, but just the sounds and the melodies actually help me to think, keeps me calm, keeps my mind at ease as I begin to brainstorm and whiteboard things out, right? If I'm working out, I listen to a lot of rap music, right? Listen to a lot of rap music, mostly 90s rap music, but then a lot of the modern stuff as well. You know, if it's a sunny day, we may drop the windows and we may play a little bit of Journey. It really depends upon the mood that I'm in and the activity that I happen to be engaging in. So it depends. It depends. I do like a lot of music. Not the biggest fan of jazz, but I do like some Coltrane and some of that stuff. I listened to a lot of that stuff when I was in college, when I took a jazz appreciation course, and was able to listen to a lot of like Coltrane and stuff. And I was like, man, it's actually good music. It's just not necessarily something that I gravitate towards, you know? So hopefully that helps a little bit. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Oh, you know, there we go. Reggie went to Howard University. Go is life. That's what's up. The Junkyard Band. Yeah, man. I absolutely loved my time in DC. I loved my time in DC. Scrolling down through the comments here, see what Led Zeppelin. That's what's up. Pac, man, come on now. Come on, brother. West Coast. Even when I was in Detroit and Michigan, we were West Coast affiliated, right? So Tupac all day long, even though when I was at Howard University, Biggie was there. Who else was there? Puffy was there at various points. But I am still a West Coast guy through and through. So scrolling down through some of the comments here. Wait a minute, Reggie, you doing any? No, I don't compete anymore. I have not competed since I won a pro show in December, I think it was, of 2016. I have not competed since then. And I don't know if I'll ever compete again, to be honest with you, but I went out on a high note, turned pro, won an IFBB pro show, which is huge, right? I think that same year I was landed in on the cover of a magazine. So it was a good year, or within a year of turning pro. So it was definitely a good run for me. I don't know if I'll ever compete again, to be honest with you. Maybe at some point. I do know Pac is from Baltimore. Yes, I do know that. But if you listen to his music, even though he is from Baltimore, even though he lived in New York, he also spent some time in Marin County. His mother is a Black Panther. And so I think that he is probably more West Coast than he is any other coast. Scrolling down through some of the comments here. Oh man, don't get me started with the chronic. Don't get me started. Scrolling down through some of the comments. All right, so I think we've reached the end of that one right there. Straight up metal for Wesley. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Dave Matthews Band. Gotta love Rush. Scrolling through. What does that say? Trying to scan through some of these comments, seeing what else you guys are talking about. All right, cool. I think I am going to wrap this thing up. I'm going to go spend a little bit of time with the family. Man, no, brother. The Arnold Classic probably isn't even going to happen this year. I think they're talking about the Olympia. They may actually do the Olympia. But I had hopes, man. I had hopes of actually going to compete at the Olympia at some point, right? When I was really in great, fantastic shape. I actually wanted to go compete at the Olympia for the experience of it, you know? I highly doubt that will happen at this point in my life, but you never know. You never know what could happen. Linky from Nova Scotia. How you doing, brother? It is thank you for spending a little bit of time. Wesley, I definitely appreciate that. I want to thank you guys for spending just a little bit of time with me. I absolutely appreciate it. If you were in the running for the book that I gave away on Sunday night, rest assured that that book has been claimed and has actually been mailed out. But if you are in the final randomized list, if you are in the 30 to 40 range, in those 10 individuals, if you are in that range, 5 of those people will, if you email me, will actually get a packet of these Jack Kirby cards. This was from Comic Collection Agency. So if you are in the 30 to 40 range, the first 5 people that send me an email to Regie@regiecollects.com, you will actually get a packet of these cards. How do you know if you were in 30 to 40? If you go to the final randomized thing, I think it's like 43 minutes into the video, you can clearly see on the screen that range. And so all you do is pause it. If you're in there, send me an email to Regie@regiecollects.com and I will send you out a packet of these cards. I hope that on the upcoming Sunday Ready, Set, Go preview show, I will have a better way of actually giving away some of these cards. I totally dropped the ball this last Sunday, so you guys have my apology for that, but I will try to make up for it this coming Sunday. And just as a reminder, this is the dopeness that we are giving away this week as part of the Go Collect sponsorship of the channel. This is Captain Marvel number 33, The Origin of Thanos. There's also a Drax and Death appearance in here. It is a really, really nice book, 9.4 with off-white to white pages. This is the book that we are basically going to be giving away. And how do you win this book? You basically watch the videos that come out from the channel over the course of the week. And in one of those videos, I actually give you a phrase. You head over to the community tab, you find the link where I'm actually talking about that book. You click on that link, you plug in 3 pieces of information. One of them is a phrase that I give you in the video, not this video, but the video that you will find over the course of this week. You plug it in, then you are in the running. You then tune into the Ready, Set, Go preview show on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time to find out if you are the winner. Please, 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 please do not send me an email asking if you are the winner, because I don't know. You have to watch the video because all of the details are in the videos. But if you have any challenges with finding the community tab, if you do a search on YouTube for Regie Collects Go Collect giveaway, you will find a video in which I actually show you how to find the community tab. If you have issues, reach out to me and I will try to help you as best I can. Let me scroll back down to the bottom. And it looks like I have addressed everything. We are getting close, bro. We are getting close to 8,000 subs. It is crazy. It is crazy. So fingers crossed that we will get there. The goal is to get to 10,000 subs by the end of the year. And we are definitely on our way to actually getting there. So again, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me just a little bit. I hope that you enjoyed the chat. If you missed any of the videos that have been released this week, I definitely want to encourage you to go back and check those videos out because there is some good content. But if you need me, don't hesitate to drop me a message on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care.